Ladies and gentlemen, dear guests, scientists, researchers, and friends, it is a great pleasure to welcome you all to Baden-Baden for the Symposium Technology in the Service of Humanity. I'm delighted that so many outstanding experts in artificial intelligence, language, and robotics have come together here today. Your work helps us to understand the world better and opens a new possibility in many areas of life. Digital technologies, especially artificial intelligence, are changing many areas of our societies at remarkable speed. But technology is not an end in itself. What matters most is how it can help people. This is why the theme of this symposium is so important. Innovation should serve human well-being, mutual understanding and progress. This event brings together people from different countries and disciplines. It offers an important opportunity to exchange ideas, learn from another, and create new connections. I'm sure that your discussions will be inspiring and fruitful. We are very proud that Baden-Baden can host it is an international gathering. For centuries, our city has been a place where people from many countries have met, exchanged ideas, and found inspiration. This international character is also reflected in our World Heritage status. Since 2021, Baden-Baden has been part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site, the Great Spa Towns of Europe. Together with 10 other historic spa towns in 7 European countries, we share a cultural heritage built. We share a cultural heritage built on exchange, openness, and cooperation across borders. Today, Baden-Baden continues to be known not only for its thermal baths and beautiful parks, but also for its international atmosphere, its cultural life, and its high quality of life. Surrounded by the Black Forest and rich in history, our city offers an ideal setting for discussion, reflecting, and new ideas. I hope you will also have some time to enjoy all that this town has to offer, its unique charm and its welcome spirit. On behalf of the city of Baden-Baden, I wish you a successful symposium, stimulating discussions, and pleasant stay in our city. Thank you for being here. Welcome to Baden-Baden and enjoy the symposium.
Good morning also from my side. I'm Jan Hesthaven, I'm the president of KIT. Dear Mayor Wieland, dear President Jahanian, dear Professor Waibel, dear Alex, dear colleagues, dear friends. We're celebrating 35 years of Interact. 35 years, when you have reached my age, seems very young. But of course, in the space of computer science, robotics, it's an eternity. And Interact, started in '91, has been with this transformation throughout and played not only a witness but an essential role in the transformation that we have all witnessed. And I'll come back to this a little bit later, but when I asked Alex what would be things to talk about, he gave me a list. It's all good, but he forgot one topic, which I think we should also take the opportunity to celebrate, which is the fact that Alex also had a birthday not too long ago. And it sort of marks his maybe transition into a different life stage, although I have a hard time imagining that. But I would like to sort of just say a few words to acknowledge the unusual character that he is and has been, and the role that he has played in Interact and building it, in particular with CMU, but also with a larger framework. I think many researchers, also in this room, create excellent science, but few of us are able to really transition this into making a difference in society. And one can measure this in many ways. You can look at an age index if you're a fan of that. I saw just the other day that he just crossed 100, which is not so bad. The number of students I tried to count, I have sort of given up on that. It's very substantial, but what he told me yesterday, which I think is equally impressive, he has created 13 companies. Now, this combination of scientific excellence and innovation transfer is really unique, and this is what we are striving for at universities, to have exactly these kinds of profiles. So again, Alex was maybe 35 years ahead of his time, and can now serve as a role model. I would like to also emphasize a particular impact here in Karlsruhe, which is the creation of a research lab around Zoom and Zoom technology, where he has played an important role in enabling technology in Zoom that allows you to translate in real time between different participants in the conversation, and therefore truly beginning to break down barriers in international collaborations. I think this is an accomplishment which we will all benefit from. I certainly look forward to having translations from German into something I can understand. No, it's not so bad, but it would be nice. It would be a nice thing. So anniversaries, of course, whether it's 35 or more, is not only a time to look backwards, but we should also look forward and think about what can happen in the next 35 years. And again, Interact is really sort of at the cross point of what we would like to see, this interface between robotics, speech recognition, automatic translation, AI support, etc. Now, when I stepped into the role as president of KIT 19 months ago, I had sort of two things. I had several, but two things that were very important to me. One is I believe very much in collaboration, less so than in competition. I think we need to work together to solve the problems that we have in front of us. I believe very much in the value of having an international environment, having talents coming from all over to enrich and drive creativity. And it's also very important for me that, yes, we do fundamental sciences, but at the end of the day, it needs to lead somewhere. It needs to help solve problems for our society at some point in time. Now, sometimes it takes 10 years to get there, or maybe 25. That's also okay. But sort of completely blue sky, I'm proud of it never being applied. I have a harder time with that. I think this fits very well to KIT, but it fits also very well to Interact. That is exactly what Interact strives to do. And for those of you who don't know sort of maybe the history of Interact, it was founded in 1991 as a collaboration between KIT, then University of Karlsruhe, and Carnegie Mellon, and has then in the interim grown into a global network of institutions in Europe, in North America, Asia, and Australia. And I like to take this opportunity also to thank CMU for this very long friendship that allowed us to continue and stay on path, and especially at a time where geopolitics is sort of less than trivial and relatively dynamic. I think having partners that we trust and that we know we can work with wherever they are is increasingly important. And Interact is exactly that. It's a trust-based relationship where we can develop ourselves and each other, and this is now more valuable than ever. I can also mention that we are now prepared and now ready, and our lawyers think so too, which is sometimes a big hurdle. Now we are ready to sign a next agreement, so the next stage of Interact, and it passed my legal department yesterday. And if it passes KIT legal department, it'll go anywhere else. So I think we are good. And I really appreciate that, and that we can continue to do this. The work that is done in Interact, in particular in communication strategies, enables participation. Having global networks is no longer limited by languages, and this is to a large extent work that is coming out of the Interact network. So talk about impact. There it is. I think I'll end it here and thank everybody for being here, taking the time to come to Baden-Baden. It's historical. You should take some time, if you have, to walk around. Weather is a little bit not on your side, but maybe in the evening or early in the morning, you can take a stroll. It's a beautiful historical city. And then I'll again congratulate Interact with his 35 years and Alex with his X years. And I wish everybody a wonderful event, but most importantly, an opportunity to talk to each other in a 3D space and not only in a 2D space. Thank you very much.
Well, good morning. It's so good to be with you. I'm Farnam Jahanian, president of Carnegie Mellon University. First of all, let me extend my gratitude to the mayor for your warm welcome. I should say a hot welcome, actually. And also, thank you, President Hesthaven. Thank you for your kind remarks, for your leadership, and also for your partnership and hosting this event today. Really good to be with you. It's a real privilege to be here at this symposium, surrounded by such an extraordinary gathering of scientists, innovators, collaborators, and friends. I'm especially delighted to see some of the members, of course, Carnegie Mellon and KIT community, as well as many collaborators and friends and former students of Alex who have gathered here from around the world for this special symposium. I do want to tell you that Marshall Hebert, our Dean of Computer Science, School of Computer Science, was planning to join me with a number of other colleagues who are here. Because of a personal commitment, he wasn't able to join us, but he sends his best wishes for a great symposium. We're at CMU. I want to just, first of all, make a couple of remarks about Alex. We at CMU are particularly grateful to count Alex and his wife Naomi as members of our university community. Both Alex and Naomi are Carnegie Mellon alum and incredible ambassadors of our university. For many years, they have generously supported graduate students. Alex personally, of course, being a member of our faculty, but also involved in a number of research initiatives and major institutional priorities he's been involved in. Some of you may not know this, but Alex and Naomi not only are members of our community, but they're also proud parents of a CMU student. Alex's son, is he here? Okay, I won't embarrass you. You're there. Okay, great. He's here. The next generation. Alex's son is at Carnegie Mellon, and I was talking to him last night, and those of you who are CMU alum, I asked him how things were going, and his first comment was, it was a pretty tough year. So things haven't changed much, Alex, since you were a student. So, but again, I think what's probably most important is that you've entrusted us, you and Naomi entrusted us with something so precious, and for that trust, we're profoundly grateful to you. As President Hesthaven mentioned, there are a number of things that we're celebrating, and Alex has given us a bunch of reasons to celebrate. Of course, We're making 35 years of marking the 35th anniversary of Interact, and I'll say a few words about that. As you just heard, we're also celebrating Alex's birthday. Did anybody say it's 70th? Nobody said that, right? I'm going to use my presidential privilege and let this secret out. 29, that's right. Alex is celebrating his 29th birthday for the 51st time. Of course, it's a milestone that seems impossible to believe. We're also, I should tell you, recognizing and celebrating 40 years since he graduated with his PhD, working with Raj Reddy, of course, under the influence of a number of giants, including Herb Simon at the time he was there. And in fact, Alex's work embodied the very CMU belief that the most important breakthroughs happen at the intersection and edges of disciplines. His work combined computer science, electrical engineering, psychology, linguistics, before interdisciplinary research became so fashionable. And this year, we're also, I should say, celebrating 40 years of Language Technology Institute at Carnegie Mellon, which was built on the Center for Machine Translation, where Alex had been an extraordinary scholar, mentor, and convener of community throughout his distinguished career. Perhaps the best way to appreciate the breadth of Alex's influence is just simply to look around this room and esteemed colleagues that are here from all around the world. The people that are here for Alex and for this symposium represent decades of vision, collaboration, partnership, mentorship, and shared discovery. This, that some would argue, is probably the most important achievements. But of course, Alex's technical contributions are extraordinary in their own right. Long before artificial intelligence entered the public imagination, he was helping to establish many of the foundations upon which today's AI revolution rests, from speech recognition and machine translation to multimodal interaction and human-centered AI systems. And I will talk about many of those things later. And in fact, as some of you have noted, he pioneered the use of time-delay neural networks for speech recognition, and many, many significant advances that have happened as a result of that. And his work on speech translation, cross-lingual communication, human-robot interaction, and intelligent environments have helped bring people closer together across languages, institutions, and nations. Along the way, of course, Alex has moved innovation after innovation beyond laboratory into practice and products and companies. As Jan just mentioned, in fact, I think we lost count of it, but it's at least a dozen companies that have been created with Alex's involvement. And of course, all of this represents technology in the service of humanity, which is the title of this symposium. As was mentioned, one of his most enduring contributions, let me say a couple of words about Interact. For decades, he's been tireless champion of international gatherings, notably between the United States, excuse me, and Germany, and encouraging scientific collaborations. As President Hesthaven mentioned already, this is so important, initially bringing CMU and University of Karlsruhe together. And of course, this has grown into a global network involving a number of other institutions and universities. In fact, at a time, I want to echo what you said earlier, that at a time when the world's most pressing challenges really transcend borders, these kind of partnerships are so important, more than ever before. And scientific progress depends on openness, it depends on innovation, depends on collaboration, and of course, humanity benefits as a result of it. When knowledge can cross borders freely, boundaries, of course, should be porous, and disciplines should interact. This is why I'm especially pleased to echo what you just heard. I think the lawyers on CMU side also gave in their okay. But more seriously, we're really pleased to be able to announce the renewal of CMU partnership with KIT through Interact. And of course, this has happened with Alex's mentorship and support, with a commitment, of course, leaders from both institutions. And it will continue, of course, advance research, cultivate talent, address challenges that no single institution can solve. But I think the most important part of it is ability to send faculty, students, graduate students from one institution to the other and have this collaboration really be built on the foundation of interaction that happens by having our faculty colleagues and students seamlessly work together. I want to wrap up mentioning one more thing. Of course, a reflection on Alex's contributions could not be complete without acknowledging the incredible range of pursuits beyond the laboratory. He's done a number of work in the different areas, but I think those of you who know Alex well can attest to this, that it's really his curiosity that's taking him all over the place, from research centers to helicopter journeys to deep sea expedition. And it's all driven by that curiosity. And his enthusiasm for exploration seems to have no limits, no boundaries. Only Alex would find a way, I got to tell you, to use the Titanic as a means for testing and showcasing the capabilities of his video conferencing technology under very challenging conditions. And only Alex could make that combination sound entirely reasonable and sensible as an experiment. That's a real gift. And of course, beneath all of that, more seriously, it's a deeper societal commitment that he has, whether he's working with the European Parliament, engaging with leaders at the Vatican, or advancing communication technologies around the world. He's consistently sought to use innovation as a bridge among people and communities, and this is a spirit of service that's probably most enduring and enduring thread, I should say, running through his work. Just to wrap up, Alex, your contributions have shaped Carnegie Mellon, strengthened, of course, our partnership with KIT, helped define the field of artificial intelligence, and improved the lives of countless people around the world. Most importantly, you've shown us how technology can be used as a force for understanding, for connection, and for human progress. And again, congratulations, my friend, on the 35th anniversary of Interact, and happy birthday again on your 29th birthday celebration. It's an honor to be here. And again, I want to extend my deep gratitude to our host, the city, and of course, President of KIT for this occasion. Happy to be with you, and let's enjoy a wonderful summit together. Thank you again.
Well, what can I say after such embarrassing introductions? It's really very, very moving for me to be standing here and to celebrate with you. But as I mentioned before, I don't view that as my birthday celebration, but more as a celebration of what we were able to accomplish, and to say thank you to all our friends and partners and enemies and collaborators and family and friends. It's just really such an amazing group of people. Over 50 years of working on these problems. Obviously, we have lots of struggles along the way because you have to make these things pay, you have to look for research funding, you have to get tenure in a university. So there are all these stresses that come along. But at the end of the day, I think as professors, we're so privileged to have so much freedom to work on projects that we get to choose. And as a result, why not pick a moonshot problem? Why not pick something great and grand that we can shoot for and make it count, make it a technology that can really help people, that can help humanity, as opposed to just being destructive. And particularly today, as we're discussing AI as a potential destroyer of humanity, I think it is a way to reflect on this. But before I do and mention a little bit, I want to first of all thank all of you to come. I mean, I realize that in this room there are 4 presidents or ex-presidents of universities. There are 6 deans, 8 department heads, 24 CEOs, CTOs, and vice presidents, 38 professors, so half of you are professors, which is sort of, the average title here, and PhDs, former students of mine who have graduated and hopefully don't remember this as a too bad experience. But you're all my friends. I love you all, and this makes it really so special. We also have 8 pilots among us, at least, maybe more. I think it's an underestimate. It's probably more like 10 or 15. We have 1 or 2 representatives from the Vatican. And this will explain later what that was all about. But it's very important because I believe it is where all of this is moving, and I think it's a crucial part of our meeting today. Researchers in speech, I think roughly 60. Family and friends, 17. We have, again, family members are included, and high school students, friends of mine, are here. So if you want really embarrassing stories about my past, that's your opportunity to find out. We have one teacher from my high school, my math teacher. Where are you, Gerhard? There he is. Thank you. Needless to say, math was important for all of this. And what would I have done if my math teachers would have ruined it for me? Luckily, he did not. He is a great friend, and wonderful to have you here with us. We have also musicians. And as you will see in this afternoon program, is Mark Armstrong here? I think they're probably practicing. Mark Armstrong is the son of Neil Armstrong, the first man on the moon. And we have 2 such families. We have also Jack Rooser. Is Jack here? Jack is here. Welcome. So we have 2 sons of Apollo astronauts who came here to celebrate with us. Now, why Apollo astronauts among computer scientists? And let me switch to the first slide. Perhaps someone could... Oh, this was intact. Yeah, we said that. Next. Yeah. Well, why one? Yeah, this one. So why Apollo astronauts? Of course, every boy wants to be an astronaut. But in this case, it was really more. It had a profound impression on me when I was a youngster of 13 years old, because it was something where people did something really outrageously great, which was unthinkable in the day, and is still unthinkable, because after 50 years, we're just barely making it back. And these people did this with slide rules and incredible things. And I was deeply impressed with this, because it was such a technical achievement, while at the same time practical. They really had to reach a particular goal. And it was science, practical science in the service of humanity, trying to do something, to land someone on the moon. Can we go to the next? I had the privilege of meeting this man, Charlie Duke. We were just, this is Mark on the right side, the son of Neil, who you will see this afternoon. And behind it is Charlie Duke. He was one of the remaining moon landers, people who actually walked the moon. And this was Apollo, I forget, 16 or 17? 16. Thank you, Jack. Jack's father, Stuart, was in Apollo 14, the command module pilot, circling the moon, if I get this correct, while 2 moonlanders, Edgar Mitchell and, help me out, Alan Shepard, were on the moon. And Edgar Mitchell is a Carnegie Mellon graduate. So it all comes back in some sense. People do these outrageous things. They get inspired in school and in from their math teachers, from their professors, to do something outrageous. And if we grab this opportunity, we really have a way and the possibility to change the world. If we will go to the next slide. So we call this in America moonshot problems. Pick something that's so outrageous that you don't really think is possible. And so next. But it gives you a purpose. It gives you a compass, gives you a direction. Where do we want to go? What do we want to do? And even through the struggles of life, turns to the left and to the right, we end up something where we say, okay, let's keep going in this direction. Next. Next. So for me, this moonshot was the Apollo program. I might have become an astronaut if the moon program would have continued, but they shut it down. So I had to pick another moonshot problem. And having grown up in Europe, in Spain, and going through France, and I was immediately connected with many languages. So the language problem was intensely interesting to me, but in those days there was no internet, no iPhone, no email, no Google, no Apple, no Microsoft, no streaming videos, nothing. When I finally, the moon program gave me enough of an inspiration to say, I want to learn at top universities where they take practical goals seriously and put the science in the direction of practical goals. So I went to MIT at the time and had a wonderful first impression of humanity as a goal for computer science. So there was one project aimed at speech synthesis, making reading machine for the blind. And we worked on this in summer jobs. And later on, Stephen Hawkins had that very machine in his knapsack. So when I hear Stephen Hawkins talking, I still hear Dennis Klatt's voice, the gentleman here at the bottom. And these two professors, again, had a profound impact on me, because to me, it was a way to make science practical for human beings. Now, after that, I proposed to my advisor, let's build a machine where you can talk into it, and it translates in another language, and it comes out on the other side, and we can communicate this way. So I proposed this to him because, next slide, so there was, of course, this problem in Europe. We have 23 languages, so I was keenly aware that language is a barrier. And next. So I proposed to my advisor, let's build a machine where we can do this, speak with each other in different languages. Of course, I was a naive student who believed that this would be doable, but he would know much better that it was an impossibly hard problem at the time, because the only thing we would do is reading machines, which converted text into speech. And that was, by comparison, a really easy problem, because all you had to do is generate one speech file, and if it's understandable, it's okay. The other way around, converting speech into text and translating it was so impossibly hard. If you say the baby does not like the milk, boil it, everyone knows that you don't boil babies, but that you boil the milk. And well, how do we do this? Well, it's intelligence. Our intelligence tells us how these things mean, what they mean, and how you interpret them. So it suddenly dawned on me that this problem much, much harder than I thought. And this was around 79, and when I then came to Carnegie Mellon, where they had the first project on speech recognition. You will hear a lot more about speech recognition. I see some of my friends from the early days here in the audience. I look forward to your talks. Next. But in the 70s, speech recognition and everything we did in AI was rule-based and logic-based. And I just shook my head, because it was like emperor's clothes. How can these people believe that they can do AI by writing rules with all the complexities of the human mind and the human intelligence? So I was drawn to machine learning as a way to solving this and doing this. Machine learning as a way to learn things from rather than programming the machine, make the machine learn. And then in the 80s, we began working on neural nets. The first neural net-based speech group we founded and started neural network-based speech research. Next. Of course, in those days, again, we were hopelessly naive that we could build all these learning machines with the little machines we had in the late 70s and 80s, which now fit on your watch easily, and is not much bigger than a pocket calculator. But luckily, computing came into shape, and computing built on chips, and chips technology was built because of the moon program, because they had to put computing into a small thing to land it on the moon. You couldn't bring these gigantic machines to the moon. They had to be small, so they invented chip technology as a result. And because of chip technology, the AI revolution was made possible. In my life, a billion-fold increase during my career, 1 trillion times more compute in my lifetime, and you're seeing this all unfold today. Next. Data, of course, who could have predicted in the 70s, the internet, the so-called DARPANET at the time came about, and it became the founding of this incredible data revolution, because without data, this would have also not been possible. Next. Of course, today we see this explode, because suddenly the neural networks we worked on in the 80s, literally the architectures, the computing caught up with the dreams of this neural computing, and we see this incredible explosion now that people see how amazingly well it works. We have chip technology now on steroids. NVIDIA, I don't have to explain to you, if you're invested in NVIDIA, lucky you, because it's like, I don't know how many thousands of fold increase, all driven by this incredible need for compute to build these AI systems that we have. Next. So here we were in 1991, after we finally had speech recognition sort of working, machine translation beginning to work, still with kind of clunky methods, but we could build the very first speech-to-speech translator in 1991. And it took us again another 20 years to put this on a phone and have the first speech translator on a phone that we called at the time Jibigo. Along the way, we were, of course, very lucky and happy to have research funding that was fantastic. Most of them are just 3-year projects. And 3-year projects, it became clear to me that we would never solve these problems in 3-year time frames. So we just lied. We always said it would be done in 3 years and we would get research funding and keep on going. So here we were 20 years now later, and it's starting to come in place. The amazing exception, Wolfgang Walster would talk, is the Verbmobile project, which was a 10-year project where we had fantastic funding to actually drive some of this forward and make it better along the way. And all of these, of course, contributed to the underlying science. 2009 was Jibigo, where we had the first product on the market with a speech translator on a phone. Next. You could speak into it, and it would finally do this dream of translating in the other language, but you had to push a button, do it sentence by sentence, which is an inconvenience that we still have on phones today. But you see now travelers all over the world driving around and having their phones and speaking like this, and it's basically built on essentially, I would claim, copies of what we did in 2008 and 2009. Next. We had lots of humanitarian missions. This was also a great joy to do this to help people in medical missions. Scott Horan is somewhere here. He will tell us later. He drove a project where we would go to Thailand and Cambodia and use it for doctors from America to treat people in the jungles of Thailand and Cambodia and help people. It was a fantastic project where we really went out and helped, and we could see our technology actually helping. To answer Farnam's question, why do we find it reasonable to go into the jungles and underwater, etc., to do these things? It's not only joy of life, and we'll hear more about this. It's really those challenges where you realize that all of our scientific academic work is somehow, it's nice to get 2% more improvements, but then you realize that if they can't push the button on your phone, the whole thing is useless. And if you can't have certain vocabularies and so on and so forth. So there are many practical things that we split into 2 directions. One is we built companies to make them practical. And the other side was basic science. When the problems were too hard, I turned them into PhD theses, and some of you had to solve them. Okay, next. The company that did the first speech translator on the phone was later acquired by Mark Zuckerberg, as you can see us here in 2013. So we worked with Facebook and started the language technology group in Facebook. And then again, that led to a great deal of work in AI there. Next. Next. The other challenge was to make it continuous. If you push a button all the time, it doesn't create a natural flow of speech. And at Karlsruhe, I was challenged by the task, what do we do if we have a lecture? We need simultaneous interpretation, and so we can't wait until the end of the sentence. So we did that. We built it, and unfortunately, we didn't realize that German was so much harder because we had done a first press conference in 2005 to do English-Spanish, and that worked fabulously. And then when we were challenged to do it with German, we realized, oh man, German is probably one of the worst. And I give you war stories later. But nevertheless, we did it. And next. And so we introduced in 2012 the first lecture translator at KIT, which we're running. And President Hesthaven has spoken about this already. It's a regular product that we have since 2012, running at the university, that bridges the language gap to students who can follow the lectures along the way. You can see here what we're doing here just in German. And you can get the QR code and follow also on your phone in 20 different languages if you so choose. So students come to the class, they get automatic interpretation on their phones or on their laptops, and we have apps and we have websites in which you can do this. Didn't exist. So in 2012, this was really the first time this happened. And now we're bringing this again into the world. We had next first tests in the European Parliament, where they have a lot of human interpretation. This is the Secretary General, and we had in 2008 a first conference automatically interpreted then, and so we worked on this, but then the pandemic came around, and nobody would meet in the Parliament anymore, and we switched to Zoom. And so we contacted Zoom, says, hey, can we have an API to connect our systems? By that time, we had another startup company to build these lecture translation systems on devices that would now serve universities. And we made a great friendship. I want to, again, call out Vijay. Vijay, where are you? Vijay was instrumental in doing the integration at Zoom. This is Eric, the CEO of Zoom, and under the capable leadership of Zhudong Huang, another friend from Carnegie Mellon who is sitting here in the front. This effort is driven forward and developing, again, this incredible opportunity of bridging the world across languages, because we have automatic subtitling now and so on. And it's not only in the Parliament, it's in the world. Everyone can use it. Next. The team here, as was pointed out, is working here in Karlsruhe still. The Zoom team, Zhudong, is here to meet with them and discuss the future. And we're obviously excited to see where this is going. Next. There's other members here in the team. Meta, at the time, didn't do very much with a speech translator per se. They translated posts and they recognized speech for the newscast. But a few years later, it still caught on. Something in 2005 we proposed is heads-up display glasses in your glasses to get automatic interpretation in your glasses. And it was kind of a geeky thing to do in 2005, and we say, well, I don't know if that will work. But now it's happening. Google Glass, you see, and Meta glasses. I saw a demo. Is Florian Metze here? Florian? No. And Christian Fügen? Christian is in the back. They were part of our early team working now at Meta, building out these incredible technologies. So for people to wear when they're actually walking through the city and interacting. Next. I think I'm way over time already. But the communication challenge is, of course, not only speech, it's multimodal. We point, we look at street signs and so on. So we worked on that. Next. And I don't have time to explain all that, but and we don't have the sound. But we can now do video dubbing too, where we make videos of the person speaking in the other language with your own voice, so that I can make a video of you speaking Chinese and Japanese and Hindi, whatever language you want, and have your lips move in the target language. So it's all possible now, and that obviously becomes scary. If I can make a video of you saying something in Hindi, which you said in German, then of course I can make you say anything I want, which is obviously the dark side of AI, which we're now seeing unfold, that we can have fake news, we can have fake, crime, and so on. And so this is how I was drawn into this activity at the Vatican, thanks to Marco Trombetti, he's here, and Father Andrea, who will be speaking later, where we're really looking at this, what's the good side and the bad side. We started by trying to undo the Tower of Babel, the world language confusion, and now we're wondering if we built a new one by this technology, because we also generate lots of opportunity for confusion, not only for community building. So this is what we're discussing today. We want to really share this with you, and not only just celebrate birthdays, although I have to say celebrating births is much better than celebrating funerals. And so it's really good to have you here while we're still active and live and kicking, and enjoy our company. You are an amazing group. Many of you don't know each other, because if you have high school students and colleagues and so forth, you come from different parts of my world, but do meet each other. Again, everyone sitting here in this room is an amazing person in their own right, just in a very different corner of our universe. Next. So I want to just simply say one word about the program. Needless to say, we will have a lot of the presentations around the topics that are dear to our heart: speech processing, language processing, artificial intelligence. It's taken over the world. 40% of your retirement plans are invested in just 7 companies that do AI. It's scary. I'm not sure what I'm afraid of more. Is it the AI taking over, or that the stock market crashes and fries all of our retirement portfolios? Robotics, how AI is actually becoming physical. We have Professor Usama here, who is one of the pioneers in robotics, and Tammy Masfo. Where are you, Tammy? Tammy here at KIT, and Nagin Cox doing Mars rovers, building robots on Mars. So we will discover all this, how robots now can come into this AI space. And the question is, where do we go from here? In the afternoon, we're going to be having fun. We'll do a break. We go over to the, there is an air park near here. We have an event hangar rented. Next to the event hangar, there is a racetrack. So if you want to learn how to drive a race car, there's professional race car drivers to teach you. And of course, no event of Alex Waibel could be without helicopters. So we have helicopter rides. So if you guys want to take a helicopter ride, we can do that there too. But most importantly, I want to again highlight the incredible musical performance by the son of Neil Armstrong, Mark Armstrong, and his band, the Astrophonics. They will be delivering an amazing show. I saw them practice tomorrow, where they combine stories of Mark's fabled father landing on the moon together with the music that they are going to present. And there'll be a few musical surprises that we won't tell yet, but so please come. Don't skip this part. This is good. If you really need to take a jet lag break, do it between 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock or 4:30, because that's when we do race car driving in helicopters. If you prefer sleeping, then you can do that. But again, from 5 to 8 is going to be really fantastic. Please come. So without further ado, way over to it. I mean, everybody says I always speak longer than anticipated. So I'll stop. And we'll start with the first session, which is speech processing. I have the privilege of introducing Dirk from Campanella. Where are you, Dirk? Come on up. He will chair the session. We will be looking at past, present, and future of speech Speech, again, has come a long, long way. And the members of our panel will walk you through the funny beginnings all the way to the amazing still future. And unfortunately, fortunately, it has been a work in progress for 50 years or more to make speech a real technology. Thank you.